Toolkit is a cloud-based CRM, ideally suited for financial professionals and teams that want a simple solution that works. It has been developed in collaboration with Pareto Systems, a leading coaching and consulting firm in the financial services industry. The Toolkit CRM is built to help professionals implement best practices through consistency and automation. Uncomplicate your life, build better client relationships, and run a more efficient and profitable business with Toolkit. The Toolkit feature suite includes an innovative tab system that enables you to open multiple tabs and view contacts, accounts, tasks, and your calendar all at the same time. Click between records to find vital information instantly. Drag and drop tabs to organize your records and work more efficiently. The calendar makes team collaboration easy. View your team's calendar and create appointments. Link team members, contacts, and accounts all to your appointments, and easily reschedule appointments by drag and drop. Organize your day with tasks. Be highly efficient so that you can focus on what matters most. Ensure accountability, as you are on track with full visibility on what needs to be done and when. Know your clients with form. Build stronger client relationships on every contact and account by tracking valuable information on their family, occupation, recreational interests, and money. Seamlessly track client communications. Write notes and upload attachments, link them to multiple contacts and accounts, and track client emails with our Outlook integration. Automate your processes. Create step-by-step activities to replicate your business processes and streamline your firm. Ensure your team delivers consistently every time. Organize and classify your clients to apply consistent ongoing service to each client group. Build your service model and elevate the client experience by automating your services to every unique client group. Use the Toolkit file store to organize your important documents. The file store allows you to access, manage, and share files with colleagues on the go. Sync the Toolkit with Outlook and integrate your calendar, tasks, and contacts. Turn Outlook into a CRM. View and manage important information from the Toolkit right in Outlook. Be productive on the go. Manage your calendar, tasks, contacts, and accounts from anywhere. Be compliant by tracking information on your process and communication with clients. Be confident in Toolkit's industry-leading security with bank-quality encryption and geo-redundant data centers. And be backed by Toolkit's expert training and support team. The best place to strengthen a client relationship is the very place you manage that relationship. Get started with a free trial today.
Okay, so we're on the home stretch as part of the Coiled Spring virtual e-summit. Different point of view here because now I'm on my computer and I'm going to walk through some slides. It's funny, Tyler and Ryan put me at the end, knowing that some of the other speakers might have gone a little longer, and then peel back some of my talk and shorten it down. It's all good. But I just want to acknowledge, the theme, the coiled spring. You got to pull back an arrow to get it propelled. And I know we've all been through a lot here, but it's the friction and the adversity that really provides some grit and some resolve. And then, of course, we just polish things. And I go right back to my timelines there around the next 90 days and then the turn at Labor Day and then into Q4. I want you to compress that spring down and work on the business to compress your plan from 5 years to 24 months. So again, in light of my shortened time, I'll talk a little faster. But, when you go on the Knowledge Bank later to retrieve some of this content and some of the other content that we've created, You might see a theme there because I never get tired of talking about the importance of remembering your purpose, sticking to the plan, and trusting the process. Your purpose, you cast a substantial shadow on your clients. I mean, it's pretty rare for somebody in business to have second and third generation clients, and for somebody to be able to grow their business exclusively through introductions, not needing to do any marketing and trying to convince new people. Sticking to the plan. I mean, success is by design, and storms come out of nowhere, and we got to navigate through them and then get ourselves back on track. And then trusting the process. And then the essence of that is really not downplaying your technical ability, but just upplaying the proprietary nature of practice management and relationship management, because that is what's going to put some serious distance between you and anybody buying for the same business you are. So I've had many interactions over the course of the last 3 months, and then of course over the span of a couple of decades in this space. But more importantly, investing the past into the future, I want to talk about what some of my interactions have revealed with some of the best, most positive fee-for-service professionals in the business. And I want to talk about this because it really comes down to a stage of readiness for you, because you're in that mode of sort of, where do I go from here? If you've read anything about Socrates, he said it so well. He goes, I can't convince anybody to do anything. I can only make them think. And my clients have really made me think. And I want to share that with you. So the first thing I want to talk about are some of the observations that we've made. And these are fascinating. So the first is Little's Law. And Little's Law basically says, the closer you get to your capacity, the more things tend to break down. And you've got to make some adjustments. And I want to just expand your thinking around capacity and the whole theme of what it means, not to see how big you can get, but how small you can stay and what that really looks like. The correlation between how many relationships you manage and how much money you manage. Okay, more on that in a moment. McNamara's fallacy. Again, fascinating. You've heard the expression, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. But something that this jolt has really validated, it's not just your quantitative value that you bring. You think about the art and science of being an elite fee-for-service professional. There's the X factor. Call it the bedside manner. Call it the qualitative. And I want to talk about how you can take that from abstract and make it more conceptual and make it more proprietary. Because this is one of the things that's going to separate the best from the rest going forward. And then, of course, there's the entrepreneurial paradox that says you are on the verge of greatness the day you've made yourself obsolete. The day your business can run like a Swiss watch without you being there all the time. And the day that you make an enterprise not reliant on maverick talent, but because of best practices and a process, you liberate the talent to be even more effective. You know by now, I'm a big fan of the E-Myth by Michael Gerber and the whole premise of working on the business. You know, I learned from him that every business is built to be sold. Every business is built to grow and to find its natural inflection point. And every business should serve the owner's life, not the other way around. Our coaches are fond of saying that either you're running the business or it's running you. And entrepreneurship is at the heart and soul of that reality. Now, with that in mind, I want to give you a sneak peek out of something that's in our upcoming book. Chris Jepson and I are working on the Blue Square Method. We were toying about maybe forcing it out late last year. I'm glad we didn't, because our mindset and our process and our solutions have evolved, especially in the last 3 or 4 months. But something that is timeless is specificity on what it looks like to work on your business. Okay, so you've heard us talk about the rule of 3. Anything you do 3 or more times that has 3 or more steps has to be documented in your playbook and turned into an intellectual property, a proprietary asset to you and your enterprise. Well, that there is what it means to work on your business, because that's a placeholder. You think of your fit process when you meet a prospective client. I want you to get really clear on what those gaps are and how you're going to enhance your fit process. And then how you can bring a prospective client to the signing ceremony and then onboard them to fast track them to advocate status. And then once that dust settles, your service model, which provides ongoing proactive and reactive service, and your clients understand it and appreciate it. And then the art of relationship management is onward. And that's how you respond. It speaks to your culture and your mindset and philosophy about recognizing critical life events, moments of truth, and milestones that occur in your clients' lives. Based on the rule of 3, a lot of your best practices can fit in that template. And if you want to request that template, just as a checklist, if nothing else, then just ask for that on LinkedIn, or ask Bob or Rick or anybody you talk to at Pareto Systems, and we'll make that available. That overlays the deep dive on Always On. Okay, so I want to talk now about some silver linings, because again, this has really activated what it means for your clients to belong to something, your community. So let's talk about this. We saw this in 08, right? Up till that point, that was arguably the biggest headwind this industry had ever seen, and yet we had clients that were right-sizing. They were disassociating from clients that weren't a good fit. They were allocating clients to proteges on the team. They were starting to automate the client experience a little bit on a one-to-many basis. And that's counterintuitive. I want you to find your sweet spot where the world knows that you are growing, but through scarcity. Okay, it means something to be part of your community. It's an accomplishment to be your client. And I want you to share this in a very professional, understated way. I want you to tell your clients what you've been working on over the course of the last couple of months and what you are looking forward to unveiling in the near future. And tell them about some of the epiphanies, right? Your eureka moments, your silver linings. Let them know that you've made the decision to grow your business down from 300 clients to 200 clients. Let them absorb what that means. I'm sure some of them will be relieved that they made the cut, so to speak, but again, not to make light of it, but this is an incredible opportunity to rejuvenate relationships. And that's the bridge to moving up market. When you are telling your clients about some of your observations and silver linings, and you say to them, we've made a decision not to try to be all things to all people, but to be all things to some people. And we've come to the realization that our ideal client, the client that we are best suited for now and in the future, is a client just like you, a successful, first generation, self-made business owner, professional, and executive, whose needs are becoming more complex and will continue to evolve into the future, and whose needs and worldview completely align with our expertise and our process. You can plant seeds around the concept of continuity and succession and family investment legacy, vis-a-vis what Tom Deans and I were talking about earlier. And then you can start to go deeper, add depth and breadth to your deliverables. When you're talking to your clients over the course of the next 90 days, you can say to them, one of the silver linings is we've come to the realization that we've got some clients that are just terrific people, but they're not aware of everything we do. We're kind of our own best kept secret here. So one thing we want to unveil and drill down a little further into is an understanding about our client experience and how that's backed up by best practices and the process that we have in place that puts all the pieces of the puzzle together and engages all the service providers as our clients' lives unfold and their needs evolve. You probably heard me talk about the 7 Pillars, 1 Process video, not just today, but I never get tired of hearing feedback about how a team has adopted and customized that and deployed it with incredible results. The days of pitching product and individually siloed solutions, it's over. It was over a while ago. Positioning your value and your process and what it will do, not just now, but in the future, which is a perfect segue to this next slide. The art of professional contrast. We've talked about that throughout. Steve Phillips does a great job, of course, on that. But one thing that's been revealed is the quality of the messenger and the messaging as they communicate virtually. I mean, when you're in front of somebody, you've got your presence and the energy. You're in this format here, it's pretty revealing. One thing that we've been adamant about is ensuring our clients drive their communication with brevity, getting to the point, specificity, meaningful specifics, and proprietary. It's yours. I can only get it from you. That's the spirit of professional contrast. Now, what does that look like? And this is 101. When you're on the phone, when you're online, and when you're in person, and somebody gives you the opportunity to define yourself, resist the temptation of telling people that you help your clients achieve their financial goals, and then start getting into the stream of consciousness, data dumping, jargon, solutions, advice, planning, and all of that. I mean, that's what everybody else does. It's kind of a minimum requirement. You don't want to swim in that pool of sameness. You don't help people. You have a process that helps people. You create a client experience that helps people. And you have a team of people who have a sense of purpose and a passion and a lot of credentials. And that composite of value, that's what you do. It's not who you are and what you do in the classic sense is what all of that does. But get to the point. Don't talk about talking about things, and it's yours. It's like a handle to grab onto. Somebody says, what makes you different? I mean, that's a gift. Just tell them what makes us different. It's our people, our practice, and our process. Our people have all the skills you would expect and a real passion for what they do. But we don't stop there. Take a lot of pride in the client experience we create. We've adopted best practices and standard operating procedures. And over the years, we've developed and refined a process that puts every piece of the puzzle together. Our clients always have the complete picture. So it's our people, our practice, and our process. You don't have to talk about mileage. I mean, been in the financial advisory business 25 years. I mean, I'm not trivializing that, but what somebody can hear is, well, I just met somebody who's been doing it for 30, so they must be better. Mileage isn't proprietary. It is yours, but I can get it somewhere else, right? And I've met others who have 25 years experience, but it's 1 year at a time, 25 times. Locked in the status quo. When somebody asks you how you're doing, pause. Resist the temptation to say, I'm swamped, I'm busy, working my tail off. I mean, that might be true, but what that means is, well, why would I subject somebody to that? Why would I introduce a friend to that if you're at capacity? Somebody asks you how you're doing, just tell them that you love what you do. This is why you became a financial advisor. Helping people tune out the noise, make informed decisions, look to the future with anticipation, and then tell a story about somebody you met who was introduced to you, who felt they were off course or felt a little off track or lost, and you brought them back because of your process. Tell the world there's a reason why we have second and third generation clients. There's a reason why we only work with first generation successful business owners, professionals, executives, and their families. There's a reason why we only accept new clients who are introduced to us, assuming it's a good fit. Activate belonging, activate aspiration, activate advocacy. Because an advocate's not referring someone to you to help you grow your business. They feel they're doing a friend a disservice if they don't. So I've got a couple of questions here for you. There's a lot of noise, but are you focusing on the signal? And based on the law of environment, are you aware of what it's revealing in you? I mean, I know it's easy to get sucked into the negativity, but you got to be the fountain, right? Not the drain. And that's rooted in how you feel about what you're building. Are you making the time to incrementally work on your business? And as it relates to goals, I mean, I'm sure you're in a process now where you're reevaluating your goals. But I want you to carve out some time over the next 90 days to really schedule that, to be deliberate, to create a blueprint, to rejuvenate yourself. So I don't want to turn this into an infomercial for our coaching and consulting process, but if you want to crystallize your vision on paper and compress that goal that you had into something, I mean, it's self-fulfilling. You've heard the expression, you'll see it when you believe it. I would just encourage you to get in contact with us to learn more. Go through our introductory fit process. I mean, learning about our toolkit, that's pretty straight ahead, and you can do that on your own through our trial. We've got team and we've got group coaching and we've got one-to-one supported by our virtual deliverables. But speak to our crew to see if there is an alignment of interest. What you're aspiring to in terms of growth and efficiency and refinements and optimization and the process that we've developed. I've been saying for years, the people who like us the most need us the least. And I'm only saying that because that gives us an unrivaled view and window on what separates the best from the rest, especially during times of turbulence. And then I'll just wrap up. Where do we go from here? Undoubtedly, you're aware of some of our resources. We're very proud. The Knowledge Bank we created about 90 days ago, just as a resource. And we're updating that all the time. And this is where we plan to archive the modules from this presentation. I can't say enough about all of the faculty who chimed in. And as we've gone through this, it's just inspired me to the point I think I'd like to do a variation of this maybe once a quarter. We talked about the Pareto Systems app, right? Always on. Talked about LinkedIn. See me there. And I interact with virtually all of the people that you heard from today. Again, I'll say thank you to the team behind the scenes who made all of this happen. Take a look again at Maslow's hierarchy and just imagine, where am I and where do I want to be? On our Pareto Systems site, and I reference this on LinkedIn, and I think maybe on the Knowledge Bank too, I've got a suggested reading list, books that I just love. One of my favorites is Jim Rohn's. It's The Seasons of Life. And one of the things that he talks about, it just reaffirms that, we don't do this for the money. I mean, we take the money. It's like Zig Ziglar said, right? Money's not everything, but it ranks up there with oxygen. But Jim Rohn talks about the fact that money doesn't make us valuable. It's not how much we earn. It's who we become. And we don't set goals and we don't reach into a point of no man's land and discomfort. We don't do that for what it gets us. It's for what it makes of us. And that's part of my philosophy that I've adopted and cultivated over the years. But I'll just wrap up. Be mindful of your timelines. The next 90 days, get clear in your gaps. 6 to 8, maybe 10 gaps that you and your team can work on. Tell your clients you're working on them. Tell them you can't wait for the unveiling and how you're turning the knobs and refining what you do. Make the turn at Labor Day. Head into Q4 with momentum and make 2021 your best year ever. So on behalf of everybody that you heard from today and everybody behind the scenes, thank you very much for investing your time. Check in with me anytime on LinkedIn or call us directly. And I hope I get to see you out in the field sooner than later. Respectfully, from my heart, I appreciate your time. Take care.